the best one that I could find. 1,200 children of unemployed parents were treated to 3 hours of fun in the New World, and they were given a goodie bag. Goodie bag! So those days they even give out goodie bags. So there was a can of milk. Can you imagine that? A can of milk, an apple, chocolate, curry puff. I went to Google and I figured out that it was probably Polar, because Polar was opened in 1925. So this is very interesting for me. Okay, and as we go on 1939, some of the ads that I could find, the focus seems to have shifted to actually dancing, as I think that was like the flavor of the times, and people actually wanted to go to the cabarets, the amusement parks to dance. This was one of the pictures that I picked up. Actually, I think it's available in the National Archives, although I couldn't find it, but I went to visit a friend and he actually loaned me this picture. And if you look at this picture, so this is the interesting thing, you need to be a geek like me. So I love to blow up this picture and then I'll zoom in straight to see how people dress, how they look and all that. So who can tell me what you see here? What nationality or what race were the girls? Anyone? Chinese, obviously, right? But far left, what do you see? Eurasians, very good. So it is not true that it's only the Chinese girls doing it. As I go on, I will prove to you that there are actually other races. So you have Eurasian girls and then you have the Chinese girls in Changsha. And already you could tell that, you know, girls, women then used to click together. So the Eurasian girls would like click together and then the Chinese girls would click together. So back to Great Wall, what kind of numbers are we looking at? So this particular snippet in the newspapers says that one weekend you could see 30,000 people. Now there's this article written by one of the librarians here, and he's done extensive research, and these are actually picked up from the library. It's free if you want. So there's a huge article on the three worlds, and it says that on a good night you could have 50,000 people. 50,000 people in one of the amusement parks. That's amazing, right? So you can see that a lot of people would have had memories tied to these places. And Great Wall was very well known for its cinemas, the Sky, as well as the Globe, and they have Canton and I think Atlantic City. Now the Sky one was very interesting. It was opened in 1958, and it was a huge event because the Shaw Brothers actually screened the movie around the world in 80 days. That was directed by this gentleman called Tom Dodd, I think. Anyone knows who he is? He is one of the husbands of Elizabeth Taylor. So he came with her. If you recall the movie Great Wall City, have you seen? Do you remember? Yeah? Vaguely, when the movie opened and all that, they actually had a scene where the Alamak guy, right, was actually stalking Elizabeth, so-called Elizabeth Taylor coming in. I think it was Elizabeth Taylor. So it was actually taken from one of the incidents in the newspapers, and I thought this was really interesting. So anyway, but this is more exciting, right? So let's not get excited here, actually. We're all adults, right? So yeah, it's actually naked women at the bottom. Again, this picture was in a private collection of one of my friends, and he particularly said, don't use this, I'm only lending you for working purpose. I said, okay. So if you can't really see it, they're actually naked. So in 1958, Marley was quite famous, but actually she was not the one that started it. The Striptease Act was started in 51 to 53, and I'm going to talk about her later. So this, coming back to Happy World, this is actually the subject of my research. Happy World was located in, if you can see, Mountbatten Road there, Geylang and Mountbatten. And okay, so who opened these amusement parks, right? So the first New World amusement park was opened by the Ong brothers, Ong Boon Tat and Ong Ping Hock. You know the road name, Ong Boon Tat? Yeah, okay, that is the same family, and they're very, very rich. So the father is called Ong Sam Leong, and apparently he's got the biggest gravesite in Bukit Brown. I just attended a talk over the weekend, so that was quite amazing. And Great Wall was opened by a relative of, if I recall, Lee Kong Chian, a relative of Lee Kong Chian, so he's a Lee guy as well. Happy World is opened by, apparently the founder of, he's called George Lee. So that all the Lees somehow, okay, anyway, they may not be related, okay? So Happy World is opened by George Lee, who is supposedly the founder of Nanyang Sempao. Okay, so you got that. So in terms of size, New World is the smallest, it's 2 hectares. Great World is 2.7 hectares, and Happy World is the largest, 4.5 hectares. Okay, so I found this, which I thought was really interesting. So in 1946, just after the war, these amusement parks were already in existence since 1923, and Happy World was the latest one in 46 to be opened. And they actually had an exhibition of all these war pictures, as well as some of the machines that were used in the battle against Germany and Japan. And I thought, like, you know, this would be an ideal place to get people to come and see it. And then, of course, they have these revue, you know, like cabaret dancing and all that. And this one was from Japan. Boxing matches. Happy World was very well known for its 7,000 capacity strong stadium, which actually held a lot of this boxing as well as badminton matches. But actually, the flavor at times was such that people actually just want to dance. Now, this particular ad, I need to ask Mr. whatever here. Okay, Mr. Tim, yeah. It says dancing, right? And if I read it correctly, it actually says that if you learn dancing, you can pick it up in a few lessons, and they will recommend you to work in a cabaret. Am I right? The Chinese word? You won't know. Okay, I'll ask him after the show. Okay, anyway, we have this article here which Michelle has actually kindly printed. It shows that the early batches of cabaret girls came from Shanghai and Hong Kong, which is why the working language of the cabaret is Cantonese. Yeah, pass on. Okay, so Cantonese is used as a working language. I love this picture. Again, this is from the collection of a friend, and this says a lot, right, about how they looked, how they dressed. Notice the shoes. We're going to talk about the shoes later. And they are dancing in such high heels. Okay. So very well made up. And one of my favorite pictures as well. Right, this was specifically, okay, this one, I can't tell where. And the friend who lent me this photo, just know that it's cabaret girls, but we can't tell where. All right, but the men are in suits at the back. And actually from the hairstyle, I guess it's 1940s. Possible? I see some knots. I think so, right? Yeah, from the hairstyle. Okay, but this is definitely 60s because there's a beehive in the woman's hairdo, the second from the right. That's how you guess from the way they make up and do their hair. And then I realized that the guy at the back is called Fred Libio, and his name came up in the music scene. He was really, really big, one of the big Filipino acts. Actually, they were the ones who coined the term foreign talent. They actually brought in all these foreign talents to perform in the cabarets, and they were actually managing full orchestras, and they were actually drummers or playing the cymbals, the drums and all that. Okay, so here's the most exciting one, and I actually would like to draw your attention to a lady who made all my oral interviews happen. Mabel, can you put up your hand? Yeah, see, Mabel right at the back, right in the middle. She came for this talk, and I was really very heartened because I really have to tell you this. So I work in the library here, right? I mean, I only come to the cubicle to get my books and all that. And I met this photostatic uncle, one of the floors, right? And then he saw me zapping all this stuff, and he asked me, why are you so interested? So I said, oh, I'm doing research. And he said, I know someone you'd like to meet. And then he introduced me to a CNA producer who was doing a show on this for on the Red Dot, right? And he gave me Mabel's number. And over Chinese New Year, I was practically begging him, Mabel, can I talk to you? And she was like, okay, you know, but a lot of it is personal. And she shared with me her mother's story, who is Nancy Ho in this picture. And she happened to be the president of the Cabaret Girls Association. And then she also introduced me to John Chian, the gentleman in the center. He was 17 when he became a singer in the Happy World Cabaret. So I'm very glad Mabel is here to join us today. So this is wonderful. These are actually on loan, pictures from Stella, who is the daughter of Noni Ho, who is just standing on the left of Nancy Ho. So they're two sisters, and they have daughters. And Stella was the one that I didn't feature here, but she was the one who loaned me the photos. This is wonderful. Okay, so let's talk about the life of a cabaret girl. If you have no clue what they do, basically they dance, and it's like, somebody told me this, which is very interesting, it's like a modern pub, right? You think about it, if you have, you know, I'm in my 40s, so once upon a time I used to go pubbing. My husband, who was my boyfriend then. So this is like the pubbing of the times in the 30s and 40s. So you go to this cabaret, it starts around 6 p.m. You would dance, but you have to buy coupons. So what happens is you would book the girls that you like. So they're sitting at the tables, we saw that, right? So you go forward and you invite them to dance, and then after the dance, you give them the ticket. And at the end of the night, they would cash in all all the tickets. So they bring all the tickets to the cashier and then you exchange them for money. But they actually earn very little money. So the money that is to be made is earned from the $13 an hour when they sit at the table with customers and then they accompany them drinking. But isn't that like our beer ladies these days at the coffee shop? It's the same, right? It's just that they're called the tiger ladies, right? So it's really that. And of course, they need to know how to dance. And remember, I told you to look at the shoes, right? So they were dancing in 3.5-inch heels. Huh? And we're looking at Ronggeng and Jogi as well, so they must know all these. Huh? Okay, so this is where I gave out my first prize. Guess who are the biggest customers of the cabaret? The like the parents cannot answer because they know the answer. So who are the biggest customers? What race, you know? Okay, make a guess. I have a present for you, huh?
Meaning Chinese.
Chinese, yes, but which particular type of Chinese? There's Hokkiens, the Teochews, the Hainanese, or who? Hokkiens. That's very difficult. But more specifically, they speak English very well. So who would they be?
Baba.
Yeah, say it with more confidence.
Baba.
Yeah, the Babas, okay? And I can say this because I'm a Baba too. So it's something I'm very ashamed of. So all the people that I spoke to actually kind of like say, the Babas are the biggest customers because they speak English and they obviously love the Western lifestyle, the affluence and all that, and they can afford to pay to dance with women. They are the ones who are actually thronging the amusement parks, and then they are the ones who are actually offering to, you know, take these women out and then keep them as mistresses and all that. Okay, so let's move on. So we have an article here. We actually have the hard copy here. So there was this lady that was interviewed. The article is dated 1972. But in 1955, she declared that she could earn easily between $400 to $1,000. Now, if you have lived in that period, now, okay, I took a taxi once, so the driver told me I was a policeman. And I used to be at Great Wall Amusement Park. So I asked, Uncle, how much you earn last time? And he said, about $200 as a policeman. So as a cabaret girl, and you only have to work from 6 to 12, 7 days, you earn about $400 to $1,000 if you're really popular. That's a lot of money, yeah, okay? And a clerk, a senior clerk, who has reached the end of his time scale, public officers will understand this, $280 a month. All right, so a policeman, $200, a clerk, $280, a cabaret girl, $400 to $1,000. Huh? Okay, so again, you'll be wondering, so where is this all taking us? So that's just all the teaser, okay? So my real story begins now. So post-World War II, 1946, a lot of children were left unschooled because the war actually interrupted their education. So I was interested because I came across a snippet of story that says 2 cabaret women actually founded a school in Geylang called the Happy School. And so that led me on this wild goose chase, and then eventually this became this researcher. So a lot of schools that were open at those times were opened by the clan associations as well as the missionaries. And there was this quote that says that actually they need help and the government wasn't doing enough and not fast enough, okay? And there was this exhibition that happened in 2014, so I'm so lucky, right? So this book is actually available at the Chian reference section, and it actually displays, or it actually traces all the Chinese schools that have closed since post-war times or even earlier, and I thought that was really interesting. And Happy School was actually captured in this book. And these are just snapshots of what school life was like in the Chinese schools. And this is the Happy School. So I found this blog by a granddaughter of one of its first alumni, but unfortunately she left no details, so there was no way to contact her. So she put up a report card of her grandmother that she found, and some pictures, and she even had, see, it says here, the Happy School, and if you look at the Chinese words, here, let me just read it. It says, 发扬教育, 敬重祖国, 祖国 meaning China. So it gives you a sense of the kind of mission that these school kids have about why they're studying, right? And she even posted a picture of her school song. It was really cute. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Happy School, which was actually my original subject interest. So it was opened in 1946. It only existed till 79. And it was founded by 2 women, and this is recorded. So if you go search the Chinese newspapers archives, you'll find all of this. He Yan-na and Chian, and there were only 3 principals between 1946 to 79, and it was completely a free school, which is why it's called a free school till 1950, and from I think 1950, about 51, they started charging $250 to $350 every month to pay for expenses. But when it was completely free, who was paying for all the kids? Uniform, books, as well as the salaries of the principals and teachers. Guess who were paying for all these? The cabaret girls, the 2 women. And can you imagine, their money is hard-earned, right? But they were actually funding the school. And this is what it looked like. And I actually have the pictures, and I was like so stunned when an article that said that when she ran in the beauty queen contest in the Happy World Cabaret with another girl, she had 675 votes versus 13 for the other woman. She must be really gorgeous, right? Alright, so you just Google and you find these things. Okay, so who is He Yan-na? She is actually chairperson, or they give it, that's really like a leader of the Happy World Cabaret, and she's charismatic and eloquent, and she actually said this, her life as a, incidentally, they call themselves dancing girls. So why is my title called Lancing Girls? Because the Hokkien say lancing, right? It sounds like lancing, right? The Singlish way of saying dancing, lancing, you know? Yeah, so they call themselves dancing girls. And of course there was a stigma even back in those days. But these women, especially these 2, have the same typical background when they join the cabaret. Not educated, they need money, they come from broken homes. Alright, so Shi Jian-hong became a cabaret girl when she was 16. Her mother died and she had to help her father to take care of her siblings. And let's see, she was a beauty queen. But she was involved in a controversy because in a later article that I managed to find, she was involved in this court case for trying to buy a little girl. Buy, because she's not married. A lot of these cabaret women are not married, and they actually kind of like adopt kids so that they can groom them as cabaret women to take care of them in old age. So coming back to the book that I found in the Mekong Chian, it has this alumni who is in the first batch of PSLE students in 1961, right? And she studied there, but she had no idea about the founding history. So I have her number and all that, and we spoke with her on the phone, but she couldn't tell me anything. So I think I knew more than her. Okay, anyway, she wasn't amused like that. You know, her school was started by cabaret women, just to share with you. Okay, so anyway, so work for women, because my husband asked me this. So why did these women do what they did? So I said, for money, right? Because there were no jobs that were open for them. But what's interesting is that I realized that it's not true, there are jobs, but it's whether you want to do it or not. So you could be a secretary, you could be a home tutor, or you could cut hair. Alright? So, really, there were 2,000 listed barbers, of which 1/3 were women. You could choose to do this, right? But you have to cut 50 heads a day, and you have to shave the man, and you have to do ear candling, like dig the ear out, you know? So would you rather do that and earn about $100 a month, or would you do this and earn about $400 to $1,000 a month? Okay, I'm not going to hear your answers because I'm not here to make a moral judgment. We have the article, right? Yeah, so we passed it around. Okay. So what's noteworthy about the Happy World founders? They used their own money. They were uneducated. They had little education, but they were willing, all right, to support these children. And George Lee, remember I said the founder of Happy World, was so impressed with their efforts that he gave them a shop house, which allowed them to rent out the shop house to use his income to pay for the recurring expenses in the school. And it is the only school in Singapore that was started by cabaret women, right? So, are there any other charity queens? Remember Marley, which I showed, the stripper poster, 1958? She was not the original one. The first one was this one. Do you know her? I can tell you the photostatic uncle knew her, okay? And he was so excited. You know Rose Chan? I'm like, yeah, uncle, tell me. And he was like, oh, I went to see her dance and all that. That's what he said. But everyone that I spoke to remembered her, and that's the cute part about it. Yeah, so she kind of pioneered this striptease act where she cavorted with a python, and that was in 1951 and then 53, and then after that it led to a lot of copycat acts. There's this book that you should borrow. It's very interesting, but it's quite gross. You can go borrow this, okay? It's in Mekong Chian, alright. But what people didn't know is that she was also a charity queen. So she actually donated her proceeds to orphanages and children's homes, old folks' homes and all that. And actually, in this article that Michelle found for me, Michelle is my research assistant, we were working on the project together. It actually says that total collection of more than $13,000 was actually raised by the Cabaret Girls Association, and of which it went to the Nanyang University Fund. Wow, wonderful, right? This picture. So she is Christy Yao. As of up to 2009, they were actually making a film on Rose Chan. So who's the filmmaker here? Anyone? Very cool, yeah, okay. And you know this gentleman here on the left is called Edward Koo, not related. I managed to trace him. So I went to see him a couple of months ago. He's actually the boyfriend, he's still alive. He is the boyfriend of Rose Chan. They lived together for 5 years. And he's so sharp, he's 85, he could tell me the address of the house. And I was like, can you tell me about Rose Chan? And you know, from his account, you could tell that she was a very feisty woman, and she loved to dance, and she loved a good fight. And she would never stand down in argument or any kind of intimidation by any man. So the men were very frightened of her. But she was a good sport, and he had fond memories of the 5 years together. He put her up, which means that she was a girlfriend and mistress. But they couldn't get married because his parents objected big time. Okay, so that's Edward Koo, he's still alive. So Geylang today, just wanted to show you, but of course you would have been to Geylang, right? Okay, so a lot of these. Okay, so the original site of Long 1424A, where this happy school was located, is now a block of flats, a condo. But they actually shifted once to Long 1467-69, and actually the shop house is still there. See, same one. It's now a tire shop. They repair tires, car tires. Right? Okay, so I think that's the end. No, actually that's not the end. I've got one more prize, and so I'm going to pause here for a while, and I'm going to give out one more prize. So my question now is, can you name at least 2 Singaporean authored or Singaporean created productions that were influenced by the Cabaret? Anyone? Books or play? Any 2? Yes? Beauty World? Very good. 1. What's the second one? Beauty World, everyone could remember, right? Okay, I'll give you the prize. Okay, just a very quick one. So I wanted to, okay, then I have to tell you this. So being a research fellow is no joke. You have to do 2 public presentations. And then there was a 6,000 word essay. So I kind of read all the KPIs, but then you know, when I was looking at the school, it was like so small, the school, there was not enough to fill 6,000 words. So I went on to do a lot more. And then when I did the first presentation, I didn't have this part. Then I heard that some people are coming for the second one from the first talk. Then I was thinking, then they're listening to the same thing, so we had to talk about different things. So we went to find this. So it's not true that only the Chinese were involved in the Cabaret. Have you heard of Bunga Tanjong? Yes? Yeah? Okay? So it was a new world and was very popular. Alright, gonna finish. Okay, so there's this book that I found, and it's called T. Pinky Lantai. It's wonderful. It's written by A. Samad Syed, who's a Malaysian author but educated in Singapore. Pinky meaning she's the most beautiful Cabaret woman, and that's why she's allowed to wear pink, her name. And it's actually about a search for her identity when her grandson came looking for her. Right? Look at the chairs and look at the numbers. So that's how they were placed. And of course, on Surya, Bunga Tanjong was actually inspired by that. Okay? And of course, Beauty World. Just this one, the man on the left is Ivan Hing, and Jacinta Abishnagarden, and Claire Wong in the original 1988 Beauty World. So actually, Michelle is going to help me do this part. Just maybe, you're here because we have to go, is it? Okay, so a quick one, yeah.
Hi, I'm Michelle from National Library. I just want to show you how the Cabaret Girls made it into a lot of Singapore literature, which a lot of these materials can be found at our library. Okay, so first of all would be Lim Chor Pee. He is a very famous lawyer, and he wrote about Mimi Fan and A White Rose at Midnight. Now, both of these plays center on the male protagonist's relationships with ladies of the night, Lansing girls. And basically it was set up against the background of modernizing Singapore. We were basically facing a lot of social-political changes. So it talks about how these men had relationships with these women. A lot of it can be found here. And also the famous Goh Po Seng, who was a doctor. Lim Chor Pee was a lawyer, of course. And it's interesting, but the people who knew about these women, who wrote about these women, are from the higher echelons. This is a copy of When Smiles Are Done, a play by Goh Po Seng, and it can be found within our library, and also digital copies of this play, and also If We Dream Too Long, the first novel by Goh Po Seng, can be found on Nora, a website in our library. So basically, these plays talked about the protagonist relationships, and I want to know, I want to explain how life imitated art. Indeed, a lot of these cabaret women were a bit ashamed of their professions, and it really echoes what I heard from Mabel over there, who told me that, well, she said that Michelle, you and Adeline have good education. However, for the rest of us, unfortunately, this was all we know. So just to end with that, life truly imitated art in literary influences. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So interesting.